right, we've made it almost all the way through the end of the week, and I'm so glad you're here. I hope you have had a wonderful first part of your week, and I've been out of town traveling all week. I kind of got into panic last night. I was in Northwest Arkansas all week, and I thought, oh my gosh, am I going to be ready? But I kind of prepared. I stayed up late, and I'm excited to start talking about our blog along tonight. So it's going to be a fun evening. I hope you're ready to settle in, take a few notes. If you don't have anything to take notes with, don't worry. It's fine. No worries at all. You can always refer back to this. And I'm going to be dropping some show notes tonight with links to everything that you might need to get going. And so if you have not purchased your book yet, it's okay. No fret. These are going to be pretty easy blocks. They're like 6.5 inch unfinished. And so you can catch up pretty easily. I wouldn't worry too much about it, even if you don't have your book yet. So no worries at all. I've had tons of messages from you guys over the last week. You've been preparing and getting your books in, and that's awesome. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about how to prep the fabric, how to pick your fabric. I did post a video on how to pick some fabric for this block along. You kind of want to make sure that you're really paying attention to the size of your blocks, right? So if you've got like a 6.5 inch block that you're creating, you're going to need to be really careful about the pattern size and the prints on your fabric, because if you pick something too large scale, it's not going to show up as well in a very small block. So keep that in mind as you're picking your fabric. If you have not picked your fabric yet, I think a lot of you have already started picking your fabric, which is incredible. And I'm really excited to see some of these blocks start coming together. So anyway, we're going to get started. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm going to try to monitor comments as well as I can tonight. I think my husband is actually going to help me tonight because you guys are super chatty and I love that. So he might be bouncing in and helping me out tonight. So welcome everybody. I'm so happy. I've seen some people from Georgia and Colorado and Michigan, California, UK, you guys are all here, so thank you guys. I see Florida and New York. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the party tonight. We're going to get started, and I'm going to throw in, I'm going to start by showing one of oh heavens me, the book. Duh. Hello. You guys, I was up so late last night. Straight. This is the book that we are going to be working out of. So this is Harriet's Journey from Elm Creek Quilts. This is by Jennifer Ciavarini, and we love her books. My friends, when they are all book readers. I am not. I am embarrassed to say that. They know I'm not though, so they don't really care. But her books I will read because, you know, they make sense to me and I love them. So, I love this book. It ties back to a lot of all of the blocks that she talks about in her books. And so this is kind of cool and fun. So we're going to be using this book to get started. And I'm super excited because the blocks are not that hard. They really are not that hard. They might be smaller in scale, but that's okay. We're good with that. So I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about where we go from here. So again, as I said, it's time to start kind of getting your ideas around what kind of fabrics you want to pick for your blocks. And I did choose a fat quarter bundle for this one, and I'm going to show that to you here. There's PJ, my little sweet baby. She missed me all week, by the way. She barked her little head off when I came home today. So I'm kind of happy to be home, and she gave me lots of puppy licks and stuff. So but there's PJ in the picture. But this is the fat quarter bundle that I picked. Again, if you've not seen the video that I posted about how to pick some fabric for this block along, please check that video out. I posted that earlier this week. But I love this fat quarter bundle. This is Poppy Cotton, and it's Home Sweet Home. It has a lot of small prints, but it also had some larger prints. And so like this. You can kind of see some of these bigger pieces I'm probably not going to use. And so one of the fun things that we're going to be doing, I'm going to be doing a giveaway again tonight. I'll announce the winner from last week tonight. So hopefully she's here. If not, I will send her a message. But I'm going to give away my low volumes of the poppy cotton. I mean, how stinking cute is this? But I'm going to give you guys my low volumes because I just think they're beautiful and fun, but I'm not going to be using them in this block along. There are let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beautiful fat quarters in this bundle. So you'll be given instructions at the end on what to say and what to comment in order to be in the running for the drawing. So anyway, so much fun. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. So this is the fat quarter bundle that I chose. I love, love, love it. And I'm excited to get started. So the first thing that I always do when it comes to getting ready for any kind of block along or sew along or whatever, I prep my fabric. And when I say I prep my fabric, it is all about getting my fabric all starched and ready to go. I starch my fabric. Not everybody does that. That's okay. You don't have to starch your fabric. I like to, just simply because I feel like it just gives some oomph to my fabric. It makes it stiff. It's nice to cut. There's nothing more I love than cutting through freshly starched fabric that's been pressed. It's crisp and it's lovely. So I do this because it creates a really good starting base for when you start stitching. Your stitches are better. They're just more perfect when you have your fabric starched. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how I go about that. If you are not a starcher, that's okay. You don't have to, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my process. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to talk a little bit about, oh, I don't know why that didn't come up. Let's see. Oh, it hit again. I got to remove PJ, I think. There we go. Oh, I'm still learning. Thanks for being patient. This is what I actually use to do my starching. So you'll see a garden sprayer there. I do have this linked in my Amazon store, so I will make sure I drop a link in the description of the video tonight so that you have a link to that if you're curious and you want to do this. But this is the garden sprayer that I use. I never used this nozzle that comes with it. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with it. It is just incredible. It is so good. And it just drenches your fabric so easily. And it is not battery operated. It is rechargeable with a USB cord. I mean, hello, that makes it so much easier. So I starch my fabrics in my sink. I am going to post a full video. I have had so many people asking me for starching video, and I am going to post a full video this weekend on starching. So if you've not done it yet and you want to know more about how I go about starching, stay tuned. I will have a video out Saturday on how to do that. So get ready. But these are the things that you're going to want to get. You'll notice I have two different things of starch here. One is Stay Flow. It is not being produced anymore. So I always used Stay Flow. That was my go-to starch every time. I love, 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 love Stay Flow. But it's no longer in production. But you'll see this Linit Starch. So I'm going to show you Linit Starch. It is actually it's Stay Flow, you guys. They've rebranded. And so you can get this on Amazon. I have not yet seen it in Walmart. I think I've had a couple of people say they've seen it in Walmart. I have not, so I cannot speak to that, but I have ordered it on Amazon. So if you're running low, if you were a Stay Flow gal like me, Linit Starch is the fabric starch that you can use to replace Stapler, because it's the same thing. It's just been rebranded. So good luck to you on that. This is my garden sprayer. This is what it looks like. So that's what's in the picture. It has this adjustable nozzle. You guys, it is so good. It is so even. I used to use Faultless just because I really like to be able to spray my fabrics. I liked, you know, I just wanted to starch my fabrics. This is so much better. It's not an aerosol. It just sprays that starch out evenly on your fabric and drenches it with way less effort. So I cannot say enough about it. And you just hold it. Once you turn it on, you just hold it. You don't have to pull a trigger or anything. So this is my go-to for starching. And then I do have a drying rack. And I'll show you what that looks like in this picture. This is all my poppy cotton I've already starched. And I've dried all my fabric. So I hang this out on a drying rack in my backyard, you guys. I used to do it indoors. And then I was like, don't people didn't everybody put these things outside? Didn't they dry their clothes and stuff on drying clothes wires and stuff? And I'm like, why don't I just put this outside? It dries so fast. Oh, hi, John from Art East. So good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. But you put that out on those drying racks outside and it dries within just a few hours. Otherwise, if it is cold or rainy or whatever, you're not going to want to put that stuff outside. It's not going to dry like you want it to. So I usually will use, I've got another drying rack that I stick in my bathtub and I leave it overnight and it does the same. So, but if you're in a hurry, I stick it outside and it's the perfect time of year for this. So get your starching on. So this is exactly what I do. I starch and I dry all my fabrics outside. And then once I do that, I start getting ready to store. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how I go about prepping for a block along or a quilt along or sew along. If it's a block of the month, I do all of these things this way. This is how I organize and stay organized for all the things. Because I don't know about you, but I usually have more than one thing going. It's usually more than one. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how I do this. So there's the picture, but I'm actually going to show it to you. Give me 1 second. This is a Sterilite box. If you've not seen these, these are on Amazon as well. I'll put a link for this as well. And how I store my stuff, you'll notice on the top is where I keep my patterns. So whether it's a book or it's a paper pattern or whatever it might be, if you have templates that come with your quilt along, whatever accessories and things like that, I usually will put in the top. In my top bin, and I also will store my finished blocks in the top. So that's kind of how that is. So you'll notice in this one, I have in the top right now, I have the book right here ready to go, and I've got my pages marked on which blocks we're going to do, which will be a secret. You'll find out tonight a little bit more about that. So then they just hold up. Now, the great thing is there's a little handle, but the handle lays flat. So you can stack multiple projects in your quilt room and they all stay nice and organized. So you have all the things that you need in one place. And then on the bottom, it just lifts off this whole section. And you'll see that I keep... On the top, I usually keep my background fabric because you're always needing to grab your background fabrics for, every block. So I have that, and you guys see how stiff that is? Oh, it's so good. And then you'll see all of my fat quarters. They're all starched, pressed, and they're folded and ready for me to go. And so this is how I organize all of my quilt alongs, block alongs, block of the months, all those kinds of things. So I hope that's really helpful to you guys and that you can maybe get a little tip That's a little organization tip from me to you. But I love these. I think these just really make it easy for me to stay organized when I've got a lot of stuff going on. Any questions so far? I've kind of gone a little fast, I feel like. So, let's see. Oh, yep. We're going to put a link to Starch in the show notes. Any questions so far? Maybe not. So far, so good. John, it's so true. Love a good stiff fabric. Oh, so yummy. Okay. Feel free to keep dropping questions. I will take a look at those. I'm going to show you finally, after I get all that done, it's time to start cutting. So you'll start cutting your very first block. Kim, how much background will be needed? I'm starting with about 1.5 yards. These are small blocks. You may end up having to add more. So you might get, 2 or 3 yards, for the whole thing. I don't think it's going to take more than that. That's a great question. Any other questions from you guys? I'm happy to answer them. Once you have all of your fabric ready to go, it's time to cut. And I'm going to show you how I go about prepping that. So this is a design board. So I do everything on design boards. I cut and prep everything. You'll notice this one, I usually will use like Alphabities. If you've not seen those, I will make sure to drop a link to those in the notes as well. But Alphabities are just little letters, and I usually clip them with a Wonder Clip onto my fabric. I really didn't need them for these because it's really obvious of which ones are which for this one. But you will notice my friend Doug Lico, his little simple folded rulers, I'm going to be using that for this block. The first block that we have, you're gonna really have a use for this one. So if you've not bought, if you don't have this simple folded corners ruler from Doug Lico, I will drop a link to that as well. Feel free to grab that. You do not have to have this. It's just nice. It's a nice to have, and it makes things really, really easy. Do you quilt any of your own quilts? I do. Yeah. It just kind of depends on how big it is. I don't quilt like large quilts. I don't really like messing with them. And I kind of just want to move on. I want to sew, and I want to piece, and then I give them to my buddy Rochelle, and she does most of my quilting. I did quilt this one back here, this little one. But I do quilt the smaller quilts, wall hangings, baby quilts, crib size, some throws, but that's about as far as I'll go. I'm like, forget it. I'm not going to do that. What size ruler is this? It's the mini. So there's a mini and a regular. So you're going to want to get this one. It just says it's the mini. It's for 1/2 inch to 3.5 inch folded corners. But it's the mini simple folded corners ruler. And I'll drop a link for that. It's fantastic. And I did do a video on how to use this. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you do that as well. I did post it's a short, I think, what YouTube calls them. But there's a short out there that you can watch and that'll show you exactly how to use this ruler, because when I first got it, I wasn't quite sure how to use it, to be honest. And then I started really like paying attention to the instructions and figuring it out. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is super easy. But a video would have been great. And so my buddy Doug, I sent him the video. I'm like, dude, you need to like post this because people probably don't know how to use this. And it's like life-changing. So anyway, okay, let's see. This is my board that you see here. I use this size. This size is a 12 by 12. I use it for everything, honestly. I use 12 by 12s for all of my piecing. So I keep all my pieces here, and then as I stitch it together, then it just goes here. Oh, Doug Lico, there you are, my friend. I'm telling everybody, it's the best ruler ever. But I love this shows you how stiff this fabric is. Look at this. Like you can just, it stands up like a piece of paper. It's so good. So if you're not a starcher, I don't know what you're waiting on. So that is kind of how we prep. So we've talked about the book. We talked about how to select some fabric. Make sure you check out that video. If you've not picked your fabric yet, I do think that you're going to want to make sure that you've got some smaller scale prints for this block along so that they can shine. We talked about starching equipment, what we need to use to get ready for that. We talked about how to get that starched and hung out to dry. And then we also talked about how to store our fabric and stay organized during a block along or a quilt along. And then how to stay organized when you're piecing. So those are hopefully all the good things that you guys can get ready so that you feel really good going into a block along. I always just like to have everything prepared and ready to go. And I just think it makes it easier and makes it more enjoyable. So I'm going to give a full screen, give you guys a minute. Any questions that you guys have? I'm a can spray starcher, but now I want to try your method. You listen, Debbie, you will love it. I'm telling you, this thing is the best. And I cannot take all the credit for this. My good friend, Verushka Zarate, if you don't know, Pride and Joy Quilting, she won Best in Show at QuiltCon. She's the one that turned me on to this sprayer. She's such a good friend, and I just love her, and she's super right. That's just the best way to do it. Krista, how many blocks are we going to do each week? We're only going to do one. We're going to hang out for a good long time. So I think one a week is going to be good. And I'm getting ready to show you guys exactly what the first block is going to be. I use a cheap paper plate for block organizing and scribble notes. Ooh, Lori, that's a great idea. I love that. You guys share those great ideas. I love it. What is the ratio of starch to water? Okay, it's like 60% starch to 40% water for me. You got to test that out though. Everybody is different. Everybody has their recipe, right? You might like your fabric a little stiffer. You may not like as much starch. You just got to test it out and try it and see what works for you. It's a great question. Anybody else? Oh, and Karen, thank you. Love the podcast and lives. Yeah, thank you so much. We'll have a new podcast out this weekend. Any other questions before I keep going? Okay, you guys are quiet. We're going to go just a few more minutes, and then I'm sure some of you want to go eat some supper or whatever. Do you say supper or dinner? Drop it in the comments. That would be fun to find out. Some people say supper, some people say dinner. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to show you the plan for the quilt along. So here are I'm going to be posting this on my website on lesliequilts.com. It will be up there probably tomorrow. I'm kind of pooped today, to be honest. But I will also put this out on my Instagram, and this is obviously going to be here, and it will be in the notes as well. But we are going to do week 1. We are going to do blocks and stars. That is on page 16. And it's block A3. So now you know. This week, we're going to be working on blocks and stars. And it's a beautiful block. It's a fun one to get started with. And you will, like I said, you will benefit from my buddy's ruler for this one. Because these are 1.5 inch pieces. Don't be scared. It's not scary. You're going to use this with your blocks here. You're going to put these here, and you're going to use that simple folded corner ruler, and you will line it up. It'll trim off everything to a perfect seam where you will stitch a 1/4 inch seam here. Otherwise, you can just do your normal stitching like you normally would. So don't feel like you have to get that ruler, but it does make it really great. So this is going to be your first week is going to be blocks and stars. Then we will move into next week. We will do County Fair. It's on page 27 in your book, and it is block B10. Then week 3 will be Cross and Chains, and that is page 30, and it is block C2. And then Cross Planes will be week 4, and that's on page 30, and that's block, that's not block C2. Hang on. That's a typo. I told you guys I was tired and up late. Cross Planes. Cross Planes is on page 31 and it's block C3. So I will make sure I fix that before I post that out there. We're going to do 4 weeks at a time so I don't overwhelm everybody. And I think it's going to be, that's a perfect little chunk for those of you who are overachievers, which, listen, I totally relate. I know some of you are just going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to sew all these tonight. Well, feel free. No one is holding you back, but we're going to do this on here every week. I will love to hear your feedback on how it's going. If you're enjoying it, if you've got questions along the way, don't feel like you have to wait till next week to ask them. Feel free to drop me a direct message and I will respond to those. Let's see. Marilyn, how many weeks? It's going to be 25. I know that sounds like a lot. But it's going to be super fun. 25 blocks. So we're going to do 1 a week. And at the end of it, we're going to have a beautiful wall hanging for our studios. And it's going to be super fun. Because I'm all about hanging quilts in my studio, if you can't tell. I have to tell you though, it's super fun. I'm going to end on this and then we'll do a little giveaway. So my dad, I'm turning 50 next month. I'm really excited about it. I've not ever usually been really excited about a new, like a decade, a big milestone, but I've been unusually excited to turn 50. And so I'm going to have a party and all the fun things, but I've been telling my dad for the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, hey daddy, I really want you to build me a quilt rack, and it would be something from you to me that I would cherish, and it'll be handed down, you know, for generations to come. And he's always said, I don't have time, I can't do that, you know. He's building me one, and I can't wait to show you guys how beautiful this thing is. It's just fabulous. And I told him, I'm like, I hope you're building a template for this, because somebody's going to want to build this, or they're going to want you to build it and they'll pay you for it. So it's incredible. So more to come on that. I'll be sharing that when I get it next month. Hopefully he'll get it done. So I'm super excited. Okay. I am going to put up on the screen the winner of last week's fun giveaway, and I'm throwing in a few extra little fun things. So you might remember I was doing a little fat quarter bundle here. It's gorgeous, but I thought, you know, what about a little retreat luggage tag and maybe some cute little buttons, because oh my gosh, aren't those so stinking cute? And how about some little red scissors? And then my friends at Missouri Star, they even threw in a mat scrubber. I mean, everybody needs a mat scrubber. So this is a really fun little giveaway. I mean, the fabric is fantastic. So I'm going to put up on the screen our winner from last week. And it's Krista33. Congratulations. I think you might be here tonight. I think I saw your name. I think it's you. And if you're on here, make sure that you send me a message tonight. Send me some kind of direct message. Give me your address so that I can ship out your fun yummies. I'm so excited for you. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to make sure I'm going to pop in here on, it's called a ticker banner. I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm going to drop in what I need you guys to actually, oh, Krista, yeah, you are here. Congratulations to you. I'm so happy for you. So I'm going to drop in here what you need to comment on this evening. So I need you to comment on your favorite part of the prep process. So whether it's like picking out your fabric, or even picking out a pattern, or starching or cutting, or any of that part, let me know what it is. I'm curious, like, what's your favorite part? Because I mean, I love all of it, but there's something for me, honestly, about cutting into starched fabric that just, I cannot. It's fantastic. I love it. So make sure you drop that in. I'm going to check comments, see if we got everybody's questions answered. I think we did. Let's see. I think we got everybody's questions. I had tried to grab them as I went. If there's, let's see, who is saying supper and dinner? Everybody's got some suppers and dinners. I see both. A lot of dinner. Okay. Supper during the week, dinner Sunday after church. Oh, okay. That's a thing. I did not realize that. Supper, sometimes dinner. Okay. Yeah, both. Okay. So I can say whatever I want. Supper or dinner. You guys, I hope you have a lovely supper or dinner, whatever you enjoy. But have a fantastic rest of your week. Wonderful weekend. Podcast will load on Saturday morning, and it'll be another good one. But I really appreciate each and every one of you joining me tonight. Hopefully, this nice 30 minutes, I think that's a sweet spot. I hate to take us longer because I know it's in the middle of the week and everybody's hungry by 6:30. So, but I really appreciate you guys joining. If you have questions about the block along, please let me know. Send me a message, and I'm happy to do what I can to answer your questions. But hope you guys have a wonderful week, rest of your week, and a wonderful weekend. And I will see you back here next Thursday with a finished block. See ya.